After show. After show. After show.
It's the after show.
It is.
So what do you think about this project?
Well, disclaimer, this is how many days after we finished it?
It's a couple days.
It's a couple days.
It's like 2 days.
So,
I put on the same t-shirt. Continue. But my hair is wet now, and I'm not wearing makeup. So,
The illusion is ruined! It's interesting, though. It's been a few days, but I haven't really spent too much more time with
either
the
of these
projects. Yeah.
Yeah. We don't actually know where we're going to put them.
If I were to do it again, I would use a lighter wood.
Me too.
For this.
But like the thing is, I don't want to use pine because pine is so yellowy.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. It'd have to be like...
Looking at this, I really like the super light wood. This is even more of a composite than I realized. Look, this one piece of wood is 1, 2, 3, 4 layers.
Wow.
You don't notice it because the grain is very subtle. I thought each of these pieces was like 2.
No, that's just the rings of the wood.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's only one piece of wood there. This is the rings of the wood. No, that's a joint.
Part.
You see that joint right there?
Okay.
That's a
you're
joint.
Right. You're right. It's just weird that like the rings would be so consistent. Each have a speckly part at the same point, equally spaced. Okay.
I'm not sure what wood this is, but also the thing that confuses me
it just says real wood.
The thing that really confuses me personally is the outside. There's no joints on the outside. Like where I'd consider there to be a joint. Like I just don't see the straight line.
I think it's just because it's vertical and the green is vertical and it just kind of camouflages.
No, I think it's wrapped in
in a veneer?
Wrapped in a veneer or something like that. Like here, look at that line right there and try to follow it down. But like overall, I still really do like this. But like
weird.
I almost think in the future, should we unwrap this first? No.
No.
It's good to have the surprise of like, how close did we do? I think yeah, not seeing it fully beforehand does make it better.
Because I think we're simulating a situation where someone sees something they want and they decide to make it instead. It's different if because like someone in that situation wouldn't be buying it. And the reason we're talking about in the future is because we might do this as a series if people like it. If people don't like it, we won't, but
this
people
is
like it.
So weird.
The wood, I know, right?
The wood on the outside, like...
You're right, it's totally wrapped in something.
Not knocking things made in China in general, but this is like a made in China product, mass-produced somewhere, using something. And I think, I believe them that it's real wood. Real wood, like, product.
Yeah.
But something about it's also, like, strange. I mean, honestly, I'd still recommend getting this if you want something like this. It's still a nice lamp.
Yeah.
And I love the color. But I think that, like, one other thing that I think that I might do is I might see about replacing the LED strip with like a higher quality one.
Yeah.
Making it shorter.
Yeah.
And then also sanding and scuffing up the inside because I think it's almost too reflective. Like sometimes it like you can see the individual LED dots
I didn't think about
on
that.
here.
Maybe that's why this is unfinished.
Well, maybe that like I like the outside being finished.
I do too.
But the inside, I think that we could almost scuff it up a little bit.
Right.
And I think that they would disperse the light a little bit more.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Originally...
All the real tips are in the after show.
Well, sometimes you don't think of it in the moment. Like, I totally didn't think of that. And also, it's like, we unboxed this, we did the comparison immediately, and then we wrapped up.
Yeah.
It would, like, mess up the flow if we came back days later.
Yeah.
And, like, ain't nobody got time for that.
I mean, like, I do love the design, and, like, I think that this could even be taken and supersized.
It's like a floor lamp?
To, like, a lamp that's, like, 6 feet tall.
Totally.
That would be awesome.
I think the interesting thing about the design, and maybe, like, do you need a thing? What are you looking for?
Are you asking my drink?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry, I was trying to be subtle.
Well, all the camera remotes are over there, so I was like, oh, do you want to stop recording? Or like turn off a light?
I need to go somewhere. Right now.
Bye, emergency! But I think one interesting thing about this design is it looks kind of fancy and complicated with like all the angles and the angle cut, but it was really easy to put together.
Speaking of which, partway through this project, I was thinking like, did we choose a project that's too easy? Are we going to get enough content out of this?
I worried about it too.
Especially with our like slight shift towards like bringing you along with the experience and the entertainment and the buy versus DIY type format that we like kind of found ourselves in for this. It's like we didn't want to go into like weighing things down with explaining techniques that don't really like, because this is a thought. If you're going to make this, you can probably make it using what we showed. If you're not going to make it, you don't want to hear about like the little nuanced details of like any like little tips that we got. And I don't really think that we left anything out.
I think like we tend to include the tips. We just don't include things like, okay, we're going to cut it now. Cut.
Or we don't say like, okay, we're going to move the blade at this angle, and then we're gonna do 3 cuts here and then 1 cut here. We don't like draw things out verbosely unnecessarily.
I think it's necessary if you're doing instructional. But we have a lot of people say that like they're never gonna make this stuff. They just like the videos, and I think even in instructional videos, a lot of people who watch maker videos for entertainment have no intention of making it.
Yeah, like oftentimes the top comments, even on like, I was just on a DIY creators video who's just an awesome guy. He has good content. But the top comment on the video that I was looking at is, I'm never going to make this, but I just find it so relaxing to watch.
Yeah, you know? So even on stuff that is a little bit more like inclusive of all the steps.
Well, because he is very much a tutorial channel, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even then, people aren't watching it for the tutorial part, which is interesting.
Yeah, so I think it's pretty safe to assume that we don't need to include like every single little detail.
Do you want to tell them about like the comparison at the end and how you were so concerned?
Well, so we filmed the whole comparison scene in one go, and I imagined like, okay, we'll overlay graphics. We'd kind of pre-decided upon some different things that we would compare, some different factors. And so we're like, okay, let's just like start going through them. And we were talking and like, I didn't really realize how long we talked for. We talked for like 20 minutes.
20 minutes? And you cut that down to like 5?
Yeah.
Oh,
maybe
man.
not 20, I might be exaggerating, but it was at least 10 to 15.
Wow.
Like it was a lot of us just talking. And like, you know how we are sometimes, like.
Right now?
Well, no. Sometimes one of us will say something, and when the other one agrees, the other one of us
says
won't
the
just
whole
be
thing.
like, yeah. The other one says the whole thing again, but you can't always cut it out, because another thing we do is one of us will start talking before the other one finishes talking, so like it makes it hard to cut out chunks of sentences sometimes. So I'm just like sitting here struggling, trying to shorten us because we're so chatty.
And I think I was in the shop or doing something else, and Katelyn comes out, she's like, oh, it's cooking. And Katelyn's like, it's not good. It's not looking good. We talked so much. It's so boring. And I think that actually turned out to be like my favorite part of the video, and I think a really important part of the video. And I think it's just that like when you're editing it, it's so much of the same thing, and like it's so much in general. But when you like play it back, cut properly with like the graphics and the sound effects and all of that, it's like a lot more fun.
Yeah, I mean, when I watched it back, like when you and I watched it together, because I hadn't reviewed it when I came out, and I was like, oh, it's so boring. I don't know if it's good. What if we have to re-record it? I hadn't watched it yet. But then when we watched it together, I was like, oh, this is actually pretty good. Like, this is interesting.
And like when we were recording it, we didn't have to get the best vibes either. It's like, well, when we record the points and then the outro, we were like, that wasn't that great, but let's just edit it and see what it is. Because we need a break anyways.
Yeah, we're like, let's keep the garage AC on. Like, we'll stay in our filming clothes just in case we have to redo it again. I don't know why, like.
We get that feeling a lot.
I know. Like, it works. It usually works out. It's rare that we have to re-record a scene.
I think it's a little bit of like the pressure to fit a lot of good stuff into a short period of time.
Yeah, so you don't waste people's time.
Yeah, because like this is more casual because that's the format that this is. This is a casual chatting conversation, between the two of us and then y'all. And that removes a lot of pressure.
It's like the after show is kind of like a podcast.
Yeah, it's kind of like a podcast, yeah.
Yeah. But I think another thing is, especially after doing like, you know, maker or instructional DIY videos for so long, it's like you show the final shots and you get out of there. Like you end it quick because people don't want to stick around to hear you talk. And so I think there's still a part of me that's like, as soon as we show the final shots, and this still does happen, it's like as soon as we show the final shots, people are going to bounce.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my gosh, we talk for like 10 minutes, not 10 minutes, like 5 minutes at the end of the video.
Maybe we should have put the price at the end. Oh, no, don't re-edit it. Don't re-edit it.
I already sent it off for closed captions.
No, but like it would have been hard to recut it anyways for like, because we did things in a certain order. But
I probably could have
finagled it. In the next one, we'll do the price last.
Instead, we have the supervisor approval.
You know, there are fans of that out there.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if they're fans of it or not because they don't know it's coming.
Oh, yeah.
You could be a fan of it, but we don't do it every time.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, well. We
We
already paid $15 for closed captions. And I've already like exported and uploaded the video several times today.
Multiple times. This is the thing, like you're seeing in real time the things that happened to both of us, mainly Katelyn, like multiple times for every single video, where we like think of something and then we're like, oh, okay, let's re-edit it one more time. Oh, let's re-edit it again. Let's re-edit it again. Like when I did the Patreon post teasing like the final bit of this, I kind of wrote both captions, like Evan and Katelyn buy something that they could have easily made,
bought.
or no, make something that they could have easily bought, and then I kind of like jokingly said like the
buy or DIY.
Buy or DIY, and then you guys had a good response to the buy or DIY, and Katelyn's like, I'm changing it, I'm changing the whole thing.
Yeah, but then there was also like we realized buy or DIY is like an HGTV thing that also has some episodes of the show on YouTube. It's very
with like buy or DIY. The whole like we went down the rabbit hole. Like what the heck is this?
Because we couldn't figure out if it was like because it's on YouTube, but it's also on HGTV. But the channel isn't an HGTV channel on YouTube, so it's very confusing. But anyways, they have like a series called Buy or DIY. But I mean, I've heard Buy or DIY before. I think it's pretty like generic at this point.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's like copywritten or anything, but we changed it to buy versus DIY just in case.
Yeah, buy or DIY.
Ours is more of a verse.
It is more verse. It's like there's a winner.
Yeah, there's a winner.
Yeah.
Well, there's a winner there too, but this is different.
Yeah, it's different. No, I think it works. It works okay.
It works. Oh man, the tinier one of this would have been so tiny.
The tiny one would have been so tiny.
This is tinier than I expected.
It's like it would have had to just be like a small desk lamp.
Yeah, I mean, I think like the two would maybe look good together. Yeah. I had wanted to put the two of these together, but like they're so different, I think we'll put them in separate spots.
Yeah, we'll put them in separate spots.
Yeah.
We can always buy the smaller version of this to clump them together, but this is substantial enough to like stand on its own.
Yeah.
I think it's really neat.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, well I think that wraps up all of our thoughts. I think I'm done.
Yeah.
I think it's time to eat.
Oh, I'm so
We're always ending things with eating because it's always almost time to eat. All right, guys. See you next time.
Bye.